Hi, my name is Catalina, and this is Catalina's Crochet. Last episode, we talked about yarn, hooks, and what else you might need. This episode, I'm going to show you how to hold your hook, how to hold your yarn, and how to hold tension. To hold your hook, I suggest like a writing pencil or as such, so as you can hook, scoop, pull. To hold your yarn, I suggest wrapping it either around your middle finger or as such. When you need to hold tension, it is easier to hold tight or to use a tension ring. As such, tension rings, even though this looks like it is for a right hand, it can be used for both. It can either be used as such, where you do this, under, over. That way you hold tension. Or it can even be used in the opposite direction. This is the way I prefer. And as such, this holds tension a lot more, and so it gives you tighter hold. If you do not have a tension ring, I've used in the past an earring. I lost the other one, so I just have one. Put on my middle finger, open it, and close it. It's not the best, but it does hold a bit of tension, and it doesn't cause burns when using the yarn. From this moment to the end, I will be just using my fingers. I will not be using a tension ring or my earring. I will show you if you don't have either of those. Next, we'll talk about these. But first, I'm going to show you how to read a pattern. Here, I wrote two patterns. One that starts off with a magic ring. That is an abbreviation, MR, magic ring. Then it says increase. INC stands for increase, times 6. So you'll increase in each stitch 6 times for a total of 12. If we're doing not a magic ring and we're just doing, say, a hat, we'll start with a chain 9. Ribbed means it's going to look ribbed. I'll show you in a sec. We'll start off with magic ring 6. This is how you start a magic ring. Well, not with this. You don't want that. But hold here, turn up, down, and you're in a cross. You want to make sure that you hold then. This is where you need to go. Your hook in this format, if you look, goes under the first, over, turn it so that the indent, the place where you scoop, pull, and then you twist up. Alright, let's do that again. Hold with your middle finger and your thumb, go over your index, under your middle, and cross. Hook goes under, oops, there you go, under, over, hook, and turn. Then you grab onto your hook, let go, you're going to want to hold them tight, and hold here, this side of the loop, the end, and then the other side. And you hold like that. Now, you see you have one thing, but if you let go, it all unravels. So, you're going to yarn over, that's what that is, YO is yarn over. and you're going to pull through. Sorry, it's a little tight. There we go. Then you can just tighten and let go. Now it won't unravel, but that is not your stitch. All right, we're gonna pull this, and I'm gonna show you why it's a magic ring. Ready? See how this gets smaller? Once you have stitches on here, when you pull tight, those stitches will look like this. They will become a small circle, small enough that you can use it and no fluff or filling will come out. So, start to make a magic ring. Say we're doing 6, as it says, MR6. That's 6 stitches. So, we're gonna hold tension. We're gonna do it like this. Ready? We're gonna go underneath. So that way you have what looks like 3. We're going to go yarn over, and then this one right here, you're going to pull over. All right, you now have 2 loops on your hook. That's not it. You're going to yarn over again, and then if you look closely, I'm going to pull this through both. Now, this, we're just going to let that roll. This is now your stitch. Do you see that? That is your stitch right there. To use a stitch marker like this, you go right there, right underneath. See that little hole? Right there. If you're using a paper clip, also right there. Now, you want to make sure that you pass through both parts of the V. Otherwise, you're not really holding well. If you're using yarn, use the same hook you used. You're going to go through the V. Here, let me see if I can get that close. Through the V, use the yarn, pull through the V. As you can tell, it's now marking that stitch. Let's take that out and let's use a paper clip. All right, we're going to go back in the loop. Now, when you count stitches, you never count the one that's on here. You count this right here. That is your stitch, not this. Let's go ahead and make 5 more stitches. All right? Hold tension. We're going to over, back, over. Here we go. I'm trying to get it close, sorry. 1, 2. If you look, you have 2 V's. That means you have 2 stitches. All right? I'm going to keep going slow so that this entire time you can check. Over, 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 yarn over again. And now you have 3. We're going to keep going, all right? Yarn over, back, over. And if you look, I'm holding here and here to hold the tension in itself. How many have? 1, 2, 3, 4. All right? And you can tell I'm losing some of this. So I'm going to grab right here. I'm going to pull a little bit, and you'll see it get smaller. See? Now, we go over, over, back, and over again. Hold. Remember to let go hold tighter. You don't want these too loose, or this will be too big. We now have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Or from the side, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That means we have one more left. Now hold tension, pull a bit more, and we go for the last one. Ready? 1, 2, pull this back over, and then over again. You pull once, and you pull twice. You now have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. We now need a stitch marker right there. All right. Now that we have our stitch marker, I'm going to show you how to increase. Now, all of these, all that you just did, these are all single crochet. Or in abbreviated, it will say SC. All right? Now that you have 6 on your loop, you're going to tighten, and it's going to be, so I would hold right here, right on this end. Don't cover this because you want this to pull through easy. And you're going to pull. I would also suggest at least having a finger or something, making sure that this stays straight. I'm going to get it a little closer. Pull through. Make sure that these stay straight. Pull. One more pull and I think we're good. Pull. There we go. Now, oops, sorry. It looks like it's a half, but once we stitch into this one, we should be fine. Now you can take your stitch marker of the last one out. There you go. Now we are going to increase. So hold tension, make sure this is in the back, and you're gonna go into the first one. Now, once I get the hang of it, I can do that. But for the first one, it's usually the smallest, so I like to go like this way. These are both loops, are top loops. All right, and you're gonna yarn over, pull through once. All right, you saw that I just pulled through, and you're gonna yarn over, and you're gonna pull through again. Now, that is a single crochet in the US, but in the UK, that is considered a double crochet because you pulled through twice. All right, now because increase, we have one, but now we need to have another in the same stitch. See that little hole right there that we just made from using that? We're going to go through it again. Ready? And I would use my index finger of my right hand to hold and to push through. There we go. Now we yarn over, turn, and we pull right back through. And if you look right here, you can already see the bits of it. The tip, and pull through. There you go. That's a close-up. That's what it's going to look like. And yarn over and pull through one, pull through again. Now you have 2 on one stitch. That is an increase. We need 6. So we go back this way. If you look on the other side, you can tell. And you want to make sure you have both on your hook. Yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 1, 2. Now you have 3 where there was just 2. Yarn over again. That's a yarn over. Oh, yarn over and pulled through twice. Hold on. Seems like I need more yarn. There we go. Let's move this back out of the way. Now, to count, you want to look at these. That is 1. If they should focus. 2. Focus on me. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And we still have 1, 2, 3, and 4 left. We're going to hold tension. We're going to go through this again. Now I'll show you a different way. You can also just stab it. 2, and there you go. Yarn over, pull through. Maybe I should move this out of the way. Let it focus on me more. Yarn over, pull through. That's 5. Stab, scoop, pull out its guts. Yarn over, and that is 6. You still have 3. We're going to do this way. It's much easier for me. Yarn over, yarn over, yarn over. Would you listen to me, please? Pull through, yarn over, pull through 1, 2. Now let's count again. We do not count this where the stitch marker is. That's the end, not the beginning. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Stab, scoop, yank, scoop, pull through. That is 8. Does that look right? Stab, scoop, yank, scoop, and pull through. That's 9. One more before we get to the stitch marker. And scoop, scoop, and that is 10. See how it went from a small thing to a big? Now, to do the last 2, we're going to want to take stitch marker out. We'll put it down right there. Hold tension. Do the last 2. Ready? 1, single crochet, and 2, single crochet. You now have the beginnings of a magic ring. Well, you actually have row 1, row 2. All right. Never count where your stitch marker is. I always suggest counting a little bit behind. So this is row 1. This is row 2. Row 1, row 2. Now we could continue we could continue increasing, but I want to show you that part right here. Chain 9. So we're going to take this apart and we're going to start over, all right? And this part, where you take it apart, is called frogging. I don't know where it came from. I was told this. I did not decide this. Be careful when you're taking it apart right here, because it is a knot, because you did twist. So make sure you're careful and don't just knot your work. There we go. Alrighty. Now, to start a chain, you're going to do this. We're going to go like so. I don't know if you guys can see. Here we go. We're going to go over. And then we're going to put, hold up, this one through here. And we tighten. And there you go. That is not a chain. I'll show you a chain. So hold tension, hold right here, yarn over, and pull through. That is one chain. We need 9. So 1, yarn over, pull through. I suggest holding the chain right, the one that you just did, to make sure that they stay in line and don't twist. That's 2, yarn over, pull through, chain 3, yarn over, pull through, chain 4, yarn over, pull through, chain 5, yarn over, pull through, chain 6. Now this happens sometimes where I loosen up here, so I gotta pull it tighter. Here we go. There we go. Now, to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 3 more to go. Yarn over, pull through, hold, yarn over, pull through. That's 8. Yarn over, pull through. That's 9. And by holding it, you did not let it turn. All right? Now, to crochet in a ribbed pattern, you're gonna go. Now, let me really quick before we continue. Let's loosen that up. I'm gonna tell you about the parts of a stitch. These right here, these bumps, let's see if you can see them. That right there, here. That right there. Those are your back bumps. This right here is your top loop, and that is your bottom loop. All right, when you start making a foundation chain, which is what happens after this, you always go to the top, unless your pattern specifically says otherwise. All right, so we're gonna pull tight a bit. And now, to make a foundation chain, which is what comes after this, you don't go here. You do not go into your first one. Go here into your second one. Let's see, right there. Into that top one. You see how I skip this and go here? Go in, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through both. That is now your first chain, your first stitch. You're going to continue, so right here on the top, over, there, and over, and there. I'll continue this right with you. Just give me a sec. This video is going to be a little bit longer than any other because we're covering so much. But don't worry, I will get to everything. At least I will try. If you see how I'm doing this way, just like we did the magic ring, for me, it's just easier. You like doing it like that? That's simple too. If it looks like I can't tell where my hands are, it's because I can't see what the camera is filming, or at least I'm trying. I am new to this whole thing, so I'm doing my best. If you guys have any comments or questions, please comment. Let me know if there's anything specific you guys would like me to cover. And there we go. All right, now let's stop right here. We just did chain and then row 1. Your row started right here. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. We started with 9, but because we did chain 1, technically, right here. Now to turn. This can be confusing because anytime you turn your pattern, you need to turn in the same direction every time. Alright, so we're gonna, sorry, now I'm getting confused. We're gonna turn and chain one. Alright, ready? Hold tension, turn, chain one, and then we go here. In some patterns where you're just making it all flat, you would go through both, but because we are trying to make a ribbed pattern, you want to go into what is now considered a back loop, which is this one right here. See in the back? It's the one in the back. There you go. And you yarn over, pull through, yarn over, and pull through again. Oh, and there we go. That now is going to become a rib pattern. So you always want to make sure you count your stitches at the very end. What I've also learned is if you put a stitch marker right here where that chain one was, you'll make sure you go back to that. So in back loops, so here we go, there you go, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through both. For me, when doing back loops, it's easier to just scoop. Yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through two. I'm going to show you a little bit closer right there. And yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through both. Now, if you want to see from further away, I'll show you how I hold my hook. As such, as if it was a wand, like that, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, turn, pull through both. If you look, I'm moving just my wrist or just this part. You want to move the least amount so that you don't hurt yourself more. But to show you here, I'm going to be exaggerated. If you look, it's already starting to look a little different. You see? That is now going to be our ribs. Alright, I'm going to finish this row and I'll be back. Alright. If you look, it looks kind of like a ridge right there. When you are counting in rows of such, on either side is 1. But then you always have to remember that this bottom row is its own self. So that is 1 row, 2 rows. You see? But then you count that, and that's 3 rows. Let's count how many stitches we have. We have 1, let's go a little closer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Right? And the reason we do this is because this is stretchier. You would mainly use a rib pattern as such for the bottom of a hat. This is my hat. I made it. It's a bit big, so there you go. The reason we do ribbed pattern as such is because now this is stretchy. See? These are called alpine stitches, and here we have single crochet, half double crochet, half double crochet, and then single. It is just my own little pattern I made. I'll show you how to make all of those and even this. And if you guys want, I can even show you how to make this. Alright, but this is what a ribbed pattern looks like. This is all that. I made it go all the way around, and then I just stitched it closed. For acrylic, which is what these both are, It may feel a little rough, but once you wash it, because I just washed it, this is the softest thing in the world. For things like this, I know, she's not very straight. I use mainly single crochets and increases. That's it for this pattern. If you guys want me to teach you guys this pattern, I found it online. I can show you guys. Same person who made that pattern made this pattern. I just copied it. Right. So, I showed you how to work in a round. That's what these are called. And I showed you how to work like that. Now, we know how to chain, and we know how to single crochet. We also know how to increase, and we also know what BLO means, which means back loop only. Next episode, I will teach you how to decrease, how to half double crochet, and how to double crochet. Thank you guys for watching. I'm sorry my nails look horrible, but next time I will continue with that, and I will show you guys a bit more on how to work with yarn. All right, thank you guys so much. Hope you guys have a beautiful day. Again, if you don't have a stitch marker, you probably have that, and if you don't have that, you probably have that. All you mainly want to buy would be that and this. So have a good day. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.